President Trump calling for major changes to the nation's election system after announcing the release of newly declassified intelligence he says shows security vulnerabilities, and Oklahoma is on the list.
Well, today, Oklahoma State Election Board responded saying our state already has excellent procedures in place to ensure the integrity of our elections. Fox 25's Rob Hagan has more tonight. Rob?
That's right. Wendy, Adam, the president says China carried out the largest compromise of election data in U.S. history. But our state election board secretary says China only got publicly available information in Oklahoma.
No country can be great without fair and honest elections.
That message came as President Trump announced the shocking release of declassified intelligence he says raises concerns about election security, including claims about foreign access to voter data and cyber vulnerabilities.
Every American deserves to know that when they cast their vote, that vote will be counted accurately in a system, and that is to make that system secure, one where cheating and interference are not just difficult, but virtually impossible. Unfortunately, the system we have today falls catastrophically short of that standard.
The president says 220 million U.S. voter files were compromised in 18 states, including the deep red state of Oklahoma. Oklahoma's state election board says Oklahoma's voting system is built differently.
Oklahomans can rest easy that we have good processes, good procedures, and robust security features in place to make sure that they can trust election results in Oklahoma.
State Election Board Secretary Paul Zirich says Oklahoma has used hand-marked paper ballots for more than 3 decades, tabulated by optical scan machines that are not connected to the internet. The state requires voter ID, uses bipartisan poll workers, conducts testing before every election, and makes unauthorized access to voting equipment a felony.
There is no claim that Oklahoma's voter registration database was compromised or breached.
Zirich says China used transparency against us. He says publicly available Oklahoma voter information was obtained from commercial websites by a Chinese actor in 2022.
This is a cyber threat aimed at the very heart of our democracy.
Last year, access to Oklahoma's publicly available voter registration list was restricted under state law to U.S. citizens who are Oklahoma residents to reduce the risks of foreigners or out-of-state bad actors from getting it. The state now compares voter data against federal citizenship records and state ID databases to verify eligibility.
Do you have numbers on how many voters have been flagged through the citizen checks?
No, but it's a very, very small number.
Now, Zirich says anyone confirmed to have registered illegally will be turned into law enforcement and will be prosecuted. I asked if anyone that was registered to vote has been accidentally flagged. He said very few, but did not give me any numbers. Live at the state capitol, Rob Hagan, Fox 25 News.
A Moore woman is facing DUI charges after police say she caused a rollover crash with her baby in the vehicle. Now, officers are warning about a growing number of DUI cases that they're seeing across the city.
Fox 25's Robert De La Garza joins us live in studio with why police say this case is a reminder that one decision behind the wheel can change everything.
Yeah, police say that this was a crash that never should have happened, and this officer just happened to be at the right place at the right time, responding within seconds to help the baby and the driver out of the overturned vehicle.
Hey, we got you, baby.
Body cam video shows the moments a Moore police officer responded to a rollover crash, helping rescue an 11-month-old baby trapped inside a car.
We've also got a baby inside. Hey, baby.
Thank you, baby. Thank you so much.
It's okay.
Police say the driver made an illegal left turn, ran a red light, and was hit by oncoming traffic. Investigators later found out the driver registered a .14 blood alcohol level.
And he was so calm and collected, and his focus was to get the child out of the car, make sure the child was okay.
Police say the child was secured in a car seat, which likely prevented much worse injuries.
The 11-month-old has their whole life ahead of them. But the 11-month-old, I mean, that could have been so tragic on all levels.
Nearly 5 years ago, Rob Scholl lost his daughter to an impaired driver. Today, he advocates for victims of impaired driving, hoping stories like this prevent the next tragedy.
Go out, have your fun, do what you're going to do, but do not get behind the wheel. Don't drive impaired. There is no reason.
More police say this is part of a growing trend that since May 1st, their officers have responded to more than 60 DUI-related incidents, nearly one a day.
And people have gotten away with it many times. On average, they drive impaired at least 80 times before they get caught. And, you know, the 81st time, it can be very, very bad.
Advocates like Lori Lovett with Oklahoma Challenge, a nonprofit that promotes safe driving and traffic safety education, say when there's a child in a car, every decision matters.
The smaller that you are certainly depending on the parent or the driver of that vehicle to make sure that they are protected and safe.
She says crashes don't often happen by chance, but can be avoided.
Crashes are unplanned events, but they're always preventable. They really are.
So the driver was arrested on suspicion of DUI and child endangerment. Police decided not to release the suspect's name, saying the focus isn't on the arrest, but on the warning behind the crash. Calling impaired driving a choice that can even have an impact greater than the decision that's being made that day, like the 11-month-old child inside that vehicle. Reporting in studio, Robert De La Garza, Fox 25 News.
Thank you, Robert. The Asian District Cultural Association is inviting community members to their monthly safety meeting following a murder in that area. According to OKC police, 59-year-old Cap Trung Nguyen was attacked and killed outside a business while he was sleeping. On July 29th, Oklahoma City Police Chief Ron Basie says he'll be at Lee's Sandwiches. The event starts at 10 a.m. He says it's an opportunity to ask questions, share concerns, and discuss ways to work together to keep the Asian District safe.
An Oklahoma County judge temporarily ordering the Oklahoma Health Care Authority to pay more than $174,000 to an Oklahoma therapy provider for services it's already provided to children with autism. The order comes after the Health Care Authority suspended Mirabel Care's Sooner Care reimbursements over what it calls a credible allegation of Medicaid fraud. Mirabel, which took over the former Kids' Choice Therapies in January, argues the case isn't about fraud, but about the agency's refusal to exempt it from the payment suspension. The Health Care Authority told Fox 25 it does not comment on pending investigations, but says federal regulations generally require payment suspensions when there's a credible allegation of fraud. The judge's temporary order remains in effect until the next hearing on July 27th.
We've had some beautiful sky conditions this evening as our rain showers are passing on through. A beautiful sunset. Before that, we had a beautiful double rainbow that was out there. Now our sky cam, I mean, it's still pretty out there, but we lost that oranginess to our lighting that we had just about 10 minutes ago. It looked really pretty out there, but still a nice evening across the metro and really across the entire state as well, with temperatures that are still pretty comfortable out there. Now these nice sunny conditions that we've had with our sunset are thanks to the rain showers that have still been moving on through. They've really fallen apart, and they're also now far less numerous, but we have one basically right there around and just to the north of the Seminole area, and then also between Stillwater and Cushing heading towards Glencoe. We're looking at that to be another cell that was out there with a little rain shower now about to cross over I-44 just off to the east of the Chandler area. That's pretty much about it. As we zoom out, though, you'll see over the past 3 hours that we've really seen an overall just decrease in the coverage area of our showers and storms, and so they should be pretty much wrapped up this evening when those move on out. And there could be a few additional storms that get going across Texas that make their way into our part of the state as we go on into the day tomorrow, especially during the morning hours. You can see, though, that on the Mesonet, they're actually able to pick up a decent amount of rain. In fact, in the Wichitas, within Comanche County and Lawton, we had a lot of rain that fell down there, and temperatures are still cooler because of the rain showers in the region with more 70s there. And our dew points, though, reflect that, where they're more in the low 70s at this time. So, like I said, we are still watching out for the chance for maybe a couple of storms that are still out there, but as we animate through our future cast, we are looking at an overall quiet picture overnight tonight, and then I think that we are looking at more spotty showers and storms to be back in the forecast again by tomorrow morning and again in the afternoon. So we have low 70s overnight tonight. We'll have temperatures in the middle 90s for our highs for tomorrow, and we're looking at tomorrow to still carry with it the chance for a few stray showers in the forecast. Most this week, though, is hotter and drier, and we'll talk about that in our main weather. Guys, back to you.
The city of Norman is expanding its storm debris removal schedule following severe wind back on July 4th. Debris removal now happening 7 days a week from 7 to 5. To help avoid delays, people in Norman are asked to separate vegetative from construction and demolition debris to allow crews to collect it more efficiently. They also ask people to avoid parking vehicles in the streets and in front of debris piles. Those living on certain private roads must request removal by Monday.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott issues a major disaster declaration covering 28 counties hardest hit by devastating flooding in the state. Abbott warns though the worst of the rain is over, the danger's not.
The rivers are going to continue to rise, even if rain is not falling, because of the flow of water downstream. Residents and leaders need to understand the rivers will still rise and still pose life-threatening danger to anybody near those rivers.
Abbott says the disaster declaration will open the door to federal relief to assist in the rebuilding of the region. He knows more counties can be added as needed. According to Abbott, the death toll due to the flooding in the state remains at 2 people. He says hundreds of rescues have been carried out by first responders. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt and the Oklahoma Department of Emergency Management announced they are sending 5 more swiftwater rescue teams to Texas to help with flood response. The teams include 43 people along with 10 boats, trailers, and other equipment. They're joining another Oklahoma-based task force team already working in the area.
A road closure that started today in Norman is already starting to impact traffic in that area. Crews closed College Avenue between Brook Street and Cruz Street. They'll be replacing concrete panels for about 2 to 3 weeks. Access to nearby businesses, properties, and parking areas will be maintained throughout construction. Drivers should use caution in the area, watch for workers, and allow for extra travel time if possible. Now let's take a look at the top 9 stories at 9 tonight. Tulsa police say a department helicopter tracked down and arrested a 17-year-old who was trying to flee officers on an electric bike.
Officials say the teen drove through several red lights and stop signs before the bike ran out of power. Authorities say an Oklahoma man facing charges after allegedly sending lewd messages to a decoy posing as a child. They say Mark Phillips had sexual conversations with the decoy and discussed meeting up in person.
A Ponca City man arrested after an officer-involved shooting. A woman told officers 48-year-old Douglas Nairn assaulted and choked a child. Officers say he shot at them when they arrived.
Authorities in Edmond arrest a man in connection with a shooting on July 8th. An 18-year-old shot at the Rolling Green Apartments. They did survive the shooting. Dontre Simpson being charged in the incident. Officials say they're working to identify more suspects.
A 79-year-old man is now charged with murdering his wife's best friend back in 1981. Investigators say they used DNA from discarded soda bottles to link Larry Dean Brown to the murder of 35-year-old Beverly Bruno.
2 plainclothes ICE agents left a man partially handcuffed after they attempted to arrest him at the Las Vegas airport. Video shows 57-year-old Fun Yen yelling as he's being held to the ground. Agents later walk away, leaving Yen with handcuffs on one of his wrists.
A Florida police chief has resigned after an ethics investigation revealed he had a sexual relationship with the wife of a man he was investigating. The Lake County Sheriff's Office found no criminal wrongdoing, but says Michael Giddens violated town and police policies.
The NFL suspending an Arizona Cardinals personnel executive indefinitely for violating the league's gambling policy. The league investigation found Ryan Gold gave inside information on Cardinals draft picks before they were announced, put bets on NFL and college games.
The FBI has seized 700 drones from restricted airspace around World Cup venues in the U.S. since the tournament started. The agency says they've made arrests, they've questioned people, and taken away their drones.
That's a look at your top 9 at 9 tonight.
You can read more about these stories right now on OKCFox.com.
The U.S. ramping up pressure on Iran with more strikes and a naval blockade. How the escalating conflict is already affecting gas prices and global shipping.
It was another day of below average temperatures here in Oklahoma. In fact, at Will Rogers, we had an official high of 77 degrees, or 88 degrees rather, 6 degrees below our normal high. Coming up though, we are talking about more opportunities for showers and storms in the forecast for tomorrow after this.
Both the U.S. and Iran threatened to expand attacks following a week of nearly non-stop strikes. Iran now turning to a terrorist group in Yemen to potentially join their operations.
Fox 25's national correspondent Dr. Al-Nashar has the latest on the war from Washington.
You're looking at U.S. Marines boarding a tanker in the Gulf of Oman, enforcing compliance with the blockade on ships attempting trade with Iran. A tactic to strangle Iran's economy paired with a marathon of strikes inside the country. Following a sixth day of strikes, U.S. Central Command releasing this video, it says, of a now destroyed port surveillance tower Iran used to target commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz.
We're hitting them very, very hard. We're hitting every single thing that they have along the shore, along the waterfront.
Across the region, Gulf states facing a barrage of Iranian attacks the regime says are aimed at U.S. military assets. But Kuwait says its civilian infrastructure was struck. In Qatar, a child was hit by shrapnel. Civilians in Bahrain urged to take shelter. Iran's messaging also getting more brazen. This billboard depicting President Trump in a coffin on display in Tehran with the words, "We killed Trump."
Will these strikes continue?
They'll continue until I say it's enough. I mean, they'll continue.
President Trump threatened to strike Iranian power plants and bridges next week. But some of that has already started. Friday, Iranian state media reports several bridges have been hit by U.S. strikes.
I'll save the energy targets for last, but ultimately we'll hit energy targets.
Iran recruiting the help of Houthis in Yemen to potentially close a trade route in the Red Sea. The group's leader says they're standing by for orders. Back in the U.S., President Trump sending this message to the American people.
We are likewise winning big in Iran, and you will see the fruits of that labor very, very shortly.
Tracking the economic impact of the war, shipping data from analytics firm Kepler shows shipping traffic through the Strait of Hormuz falling to the lowest level in 3 weeks. AAA's national average gas price jumped 10 cents just between Wednesday and Friday. In Washington, I'm Atra El-Nashar.
Iranian strikes at a key power and desalination plant in Kuwait. According to Kuwaiti authorities, the strikes damaged a large number of power generation units, even started a fire. They note the fire was contained, but such attacks on infrastructure are sparking concern in a region that relies on desalination plants. The process takes salt from seawater in order to make it drinkable. About 90% of drinking water in Kuwait comes from desalination. That number is about 86% in Oman and roughly 70% in Saudi Arabia.
At least 7 people were reportedly killed and another 22 injured today in an Israeli strike on a funeral in the Gaza Strip. Gaza hospital officials claim the strike happened in a refugee camp. Israel's military didn't comment. Israel and Hamas agreed to a ceasefire back in October to halt the fighting, but strikes have continued since then. The Gaza Health Ministry claims over 1,100 people have been killed in Gaza since that ceasefire took effect.
Funeral plans for the late South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham announced today. There will be services held in Washington, D.C. on July 28th and South Carolina on July 29th. Graham died last Saturday of what a medical examiner said was a tear in his aorta. His sister, Darlene Graham, was appointed to serve out the remainder of her brother's term by South Carolina's governor. People familiar with deliberations told Semaphore she's considering running for a full term, joining what looks to be a crowded Republican special primary that might include Representative Nancy Mace and South Carolina Lieutenant Governor Pamela Yvette.
Andy Burnham is declared the leader of Britain's governing Labour Party, clearing his final hurdle to take office as Prime Minister next week. He pledges to bring hope back to the British people.
As your leader, I will set a direction that is distinctively Labour. From here, we do it differently. We win by being us.
Departing Prime Minister Keir Starmer was forced out by a Labour rebellion over tenure marred with missteps and judgment errors. Burnham was the only contender left in the centre-left party's contest to replace him. Burnham is formerly the mayor of Greater Manchester. He's revealed little detail about his policy priorities, but he assures Brits he has a plan. He faces many of the same problems Starmer did: a sluggish economy, cost of living squeeze, and overstretched public services. Burnham will be the United Kingdom's 7th leader since 2016.
Many people in the U.S. feeling the effects of wildfire smoke from Canada as it pours over the border. The National Weather Service says there is an air quality alert from the upper Midwest through the Great Lakes into the Northeast. According to IQ Air, Chicago, Detroit, New York, Washington, D.C. rank in the top 5 of having the most polluted air. Smoke-filled skies are expected to last through tomorrow. Got some tensions flaring during today's ceremonial weigh-ins at the UFC Fight Night, getting ready for Oklahoma City. Coming up, we got to look at the biggest matchups ahead of tomorrow night's action.
Break. Yes, it is. Yes, I can hear you. Yes. Okay.
This is Fox 25 Sports.
Well, UFC Fight Night is back in Oklahoma City for the first time since 2017, and we're now less than 24 hours away from the action with one more big event to go before the fighters enter the octagon. This afternoon, it's the ceremonial weigh-ins. It's also the first time this week that the fighters going head-to-head. Things got a little chippy in the featherweight showdown between Tommy McMillan and Alberto Montez. That's one of 12 fights on the night. The main event featuring 2 former champions meeting in the middleweight division. Former welterweight champion Kamaru Usman taking on the former middleweight champion Dricus du Plessis. Both guys confident heading into Saturday's tilt.
Excited, once again, blessed to be here, to have the opportunity to compete. You know, I am who I say I am, and that's one of the best who's ever done this, and tomorrow he's going to find out.
Yeah, I'm facing a great opponent in Kamaru Usman, but nothing he's ever been able to do in his career can prepare him for what he's facing tomorrow evening.
It's the second round of the Open from Royal Birkdale. The 2014 champion golfer of the year, Rory McIlroy, looking for his second claret jug, knocking down the birdie on 14. McIlroy currently tied for 38th. Here, one of the most interesting storylines of the day, Bryson DeChambeau on the 5th hole. DeChambeau working out of the deep rough, seen trying to establish his footing in the high grass. His second shot, a really good one, as he would go on to birdie that hole. But after the round, DeChambeau was given a 2-stroke penalty for allegedly stomping while on the 5th hole. Seen here visibly upset and frustrated with the ruling, at first saying that he wouldn't play this weekend, but since has said that he'll be ready to go tomorrow for round 3. One man right now in front of the pack, Lucas Herbert, a man above the rest, nailing the birdie on 16 to get to 9 under. He had a chance on 18 to finish with the lowest round ever at a major, but the par putt misses just left. He finished with an 8 under 62 and has a 2-shot lead with 36 holes to go. I'm Stone Weber, and that's a look at sports.
The 2026 St. Jude Dream Home, now fully constructed and ready for its lucky new owners, coming up when you can take a tour of the house.
And again, the forecast for tomorrow for the opening ceremony of the International Canoe Federation's World Championship looks great, with temperatures will be in the upper 80s and low 90s tomorrow evening. Coming up, we're talking about the chance for a few more spotty storms in our forecast for tomorrow and a hot week next week.
Time is running out to get your ticket for this year's St. Jude Dream Home giveaway. Tickets are almost gone, so you don't want to miss your chance to win the Dream Home, plus an Infinity QX60 and an infrared sauna.
Best of all, every ticket helps St. Jude in its fight against childhood cancer. Good Day Oklahoma's Matt Stafford takes us inside this year's beautiful Dream Home in Edmond.
Beacon Homes always puts such a nice touch on this home. I want to show you a couple of things before we wrap up here. Let's go take a peek real fast at this office right over here. And you were saying when you saw this, this might not be the color that you would have picked if you were putting it in your own house, but it looks really cool, does it not?
It does. Red is not typically, or kind of a dark red, is not typically a color I use. I'm more of a blues and greens fan, but I wanted to step out of my own comfort zone and just make this study kind of a different feel.
Yeah, the stone, the wood, it is fantastic. We've only got about a minute left, so let's skedaddle to the front of the house. I want to make sure that we get to see these the Jack and Jill bedrooms. There's a bathroom up here, and Brian, we got to peek at this powder room as we get by. Look at the little touches there with the tile, how they've got that vanity up front. It looks fabulous.
It is. The checkered floor is really fun in there, and the wainscot paneling made it just a little fun.
Yeah, let's peek around the corner. I'm going to give Brian a little room so he can get in there ahead of us. The front bedroom up there looks fantastic, and of course Mathis Home does a fabulous job of laying out the staging of all of this. You win that Mathis Home gift card this weekend. That can be yours as well. 9 a.m. tomorrow, that is going to be the open house. We are going to cut the ribbon. You can come in here. You can see it all for yourself. And, of course, scan the QR code while you're here. And then on our August 20th giveaway show, your name's going to be in the sync. We could draw you out. You could get that Mathis Home gift card and be getting all this beautiful furniture. And then, of course, the giveaway for the house on August 20th as well. Dreamhome.org, or you can go to OKCFox.com. We'll link you over, and we will get you your ticket for that. Guys, it's looking beautiful. Can't wait to let everybody see this tomorrow. Back to you.
Just go to OKCFox.com or call 800-592-1596. Buy your ticket to win the Dream Home today. If you get your ticket, you'll be entered to win all the drawings in addition to the Dream Home. You can also win an Infinity QX60 or a hybrid infrared sauna, so do not wait. Get that ticket right now. If you want to see the St. Jude Dream Home for yourself, the open house free tours run Saturday and Sunday through August 16th. We're talking 4800 Sundowner Lane in Edmond.
Our temperatures today were once again below average because of the cloudy skies and the rain showers and storms that we had out there. We officially had a high of 88 at Will Rogers, which is now, as you can see, the 6th day in a row where we had temperatures running below average. Brings us now to 7 above normal days for July, 3 normal, and 7 below normal days so far for the month. We've been noticing most of our rain showers and storms that we did have out there earlier on this evening continue to fade away pretty quickly. As you can see, the one that we have just off to the northeast of Seminole, that one's heading towards Okemah. That one is still kind of going right now. The one that we had now moving towards more of the Hominy area up into more of green country, that one's fading away pretty quickly. So basically, those are the little 2 rain showers that we have left, and the Seminole one is the bigger one that we have currently out there. But as you zoom out, you can see that that's it. So all the other showers that we had out there have faded away, as has typically been the case so far this week. And also good news for the Texas Hill Country right now, it is pretty quiet. However, there's still expected to be the chance for additional storms down there over the next few days too, so we're going to be very careful down there. In the meantime, though, overnight tonight, you'll notice that we've got partly cloudy skies, and we do expect there to be dry conditions now because our showers and storms have now wrapped up. But by tomorrow, there's going to be another opportunity there for a few more of those spotty showers and storms. But that trend of these little isolated showers in the afternoon is going to be going away this week because the heat dome is settling back down into its more typical home, which is down closer into our area in the southern plains. Now, we're still kind of watching out for our Tuesday to see if that cold front comes through. If it does, that might bring some partial relief to the area. But if it does not move on into Oklahoma, what it actually could do is kind of compress the air in the area and actually make it hotter. So we could really be looking at Tuesday to be a pretty hot day across much of Oklahoma. You'll see, though, that our chance for rainfall once we're done with tomorrow's isolated storms is 0. So it's going to be an overall very dry forecast besides those little spotty showers that we have in the forecast for tomorrow. But you'll see, though, that it's going to be keyword spotty out there. So most of us will not see any rain showers tomorrow, but do just want to put it on the forecast just in case you're going to the pool or the lake and there's a taller cloud that produces some rain showers. That just don't want you to be caught off guard there. But overall, though, 99.99% of us are going to be dry for tomorrow, and it's going to be a hotter forecast, clearly in the middle 90s tomorrow and the upper 90s for our Sunday. So as we animate through our future cast, this is our latest model run, and you'll see that as we go throughout the day tomorrow, I mean, there's really not much that's going to be out there. Maybe a couple storms that could be a little bit bigger, but the overall trend for those has been actually kind of more for the southeastern corner of the state. Still, though, as you can kind of see, there are little spots here and there, so I'm just going to put that in the forecast, but more than likely, you're going to end up being dry for the day tomorrow. And a little bit warmer, too. Temperatures will top out at 94. The heat index will likely be into that upper 90, low 100 range, and that means that it's going to be a really good forecast to be near the pool or the lake. GRDA lake level graphic shows most area lakes are still within a foot of normal, and you still have Call Lake coming in higher than average. But if you remember last summer how high Call Lake was, as well as a lot of those big green country lakes, because of all the flooding that we had in late spring, it's much better this summer. But you'll see, though, that by the early parts of next week, we're back into the upper 90s and low 100s and probably stay there for a majority of the week unless we get that cold front to come down because of our heat dome that'll be making its way into the area. Now, the heat dome may begin to settle a bit farther off to the west, which would kind of put us on the edge of it. So we'll have to see if we had to add in any additional chance for storms in the forecast going forward. But as of right now, it looks to hold steady over our area. And so then, as you can see, for a lot of next week, these heat index values are going to be well in that 100 range. In fact, probably closer to 105, maybe even 110 some of those days. And that's going to be the forecast, again, throughout much of next week. The 8 to 14 day is above normal with our temperatures. In terms of rain, looks to be about average, maybe a little bit higher than normal. But for the most part, though, it's mostly just going to be focusing in on the heat. 72 overnight tonight. Again, those storms that we have out there are fading pretty quickly. Lows will be in the low and middle 70s out there. We'll have a high tomorrow of around 94. And again, a small chance for storms across parts of the area. I would not cancel any plans. Just watch out for a little passing shower. There's going to be far fewer of them out there tomorrow. So like tonight, you know, you had those rain showers. It made a really pretty sunset with the double rainbow. It didn't last very long. We'd have even fewer of those for the day tomorrow.
It sure was pretty.
Yeah,
for those of us on the road, it was like, nope, got to focus on the road.
Yep.
I need to look at the pretty. Nope,
Yep.
focus. It was hard.
Coming up here, we got a deadly medical emergency in the spotlight after claiming the life of Senator Lindsey Graham. The warning signs doctors say you should never ignore.
We're taking a closer look at that deadly condition that took the life of Senator Lindsey Graham. It is called an aortic dissection.
It's not common, but several notable people have died from it, including actors John Ritter and Alan Thicke. You might think you're having a heart attack, but as Barbara Morse reports, the condition can be way more deadly.
The aorta is our main blood vessel, forming a sort of question mark.
Starts at the base of your heart, goes up to your neck, curves around, goes down to your back.
Dr. Matthew Henn is a cardiac surgeon at The Ohio State University.
And normally the layers of the blood vessel are sandwiched together. So if you think of, a deli sandwich, you got bread, meat, and bread, and they're normally, smushed together.
When an aortic dissection happens, that sandwich begins to rip apart.
And the location of the tear is very important. And when you have the tear very close to the heart, it can be, a life-threatening situation. It can lead to rupture, it can lead to heart attacks, and is generally a surgery emergency. Anybody who gets an aortic dissection, about half of the patients don't even make it to the hospital. That's how serious this entity is.
You mentioned a tearing. Would you feel that physically?
Yeah, great question. So the primary symptom of an aortic dissection is sudden tearing chest pain. So people often describe it as starting in the front of their chest and going to their back, but it's generally a very sudden event and with sudden onset.
What are the risk factors for this developing in a person?
One would be high blood pressure. Family history can play an important role as well. They tend to run in families. Smoking, diabetes.
Atherosclerosis, hardening of the arteries, can lead to aortic dissection. That was the case with Senator Graham. An aortic aneurysm, that's a weakening of the wall of your aorta, is another big risk factor. Things your doctor can check out for you. Bottom line, this comes on without any warning, so it is crucial that you get to the hospital, get the right diagnosis, and treated right away. I'm medical reporter Barbara Morse.
Federal health officials have linked the cyclospora outbreak to Taco Bell restaurants in at least 5 states. The Washington Post reports the CDC and FDA say traceback investigators detected a single supplier, Taylor Farms, of iceberg lettuce from Mexico used at restaurants in Kentucky, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, and West Virginia. More than 1,600 of the people with the sickness reported eating at Taco Bell in those states. Oklahoma's Department of Health says several of the people with the sickness in Oklahoma also reported eating at the fast food chain during their exposure period. They say they're working with the FDA to share traceback information to decide whether additional Oklahoma cases will be included in the investigation.
Despite recent national trends, a narrow band of Central Plains states are actually posting higher fertility rates than the rest of the country on average. An Axios analysis of census data shows this group includes the Dakotas, Nebraska, and Kansas, as well as here in Oklahoma and Texas. Officials say factors range from demographics, including age. The states are among the country's youngest states. Now, child care is also less expensive in these areas compared to coastal states. Housing costs are lower. People marry younger in rural regions as well.
President Trump's election overhaul bill hitting roadblocks in Congress, why supporters are struggling to get the votes needed to move it forward.
Chinese AI startup Moonshot unveiled its new Kimi model today. Moonshot says it performs as well as competitor Anthropic. The open source model's launch comes a month after Anthropic's Fable and Mythos model were withdrawn by the U.S. for security concerns. Kimi is now ranked first on the front-end code arena, which rates performance levels compared to other models. The U.S. depends on massive computation build-out through the construction of data centers, while China's model build-outs rely on efficient use of semiconductors. Members of Congress backing the president's voting overhaul bill are running out of ideas when it comes to actually passing the legislation.
Fox 25's national correspondent Matt Galka reports on the Save America Act fight on Capitol Hill.
They identified approximately 278,000 non-citizens who are registered to vote in federal elections.
President Trump's claims about election vulnerabilities laid the groundwork for a pressure campaign on Capitol Hill to pass his #1 priority, the voting overhaul bill known as the Save America Act. That bill has 3 main provisions: requiring proof of citizenship to vote, requiring photo ID to vote in federal elections, and mandating states share voter data with the Department of Homeland Security to purge non-citizens from the rolls. Trump and DHS say they found more than 250,000 non-citizens on rolls in 4 states: California, New Jersey, Nevada, and Pennsylvania.
1, identify an individual. 2, did they vote? And 3, where did they vote at? That's a hard, it's easy with states that participate.
There was no supporting evidence given on how DHS arrived at the number, and there's no indication that non-citizens have voted in large numbers. Nevada's election officials said the claims were unfounded. It is illegal for foreign nationals to vote in federal elections, but some cities allow for it in local contests. The House is trying to pass the Save America Act by attaching it to military and farmer funding, but the push for the bill has stalled out in the Senate. Republican leadership has repeatedly said they don't have the 60 votes needed to pass it because it requires Democratic support.
If I thought there was a path to getting a positive result or a positive outcome, I'd be willing to do just about anything.
At least one Senate Republican, Tom Tillis, who is retiring, has said it would be impossible to implement the sweeping changes this close to the midterms.
The new SAVE legislation that's being proposed in the House, SAVE goes to Hollywood, SAVE goes to Hawaii, whatever the sequels are, all of them are fundamentally flawed and impossible to implement by this election.
The other option Congress is considering involves providing grant money for states that implement election reforms, although a program like that would not cover everything proposed in the Save America Act. Reporting in Washington, I'm Matt Galka.
A new CNBC poll survey shows the rise of the Democratic Socialist of America movement and the possible decline of MAGA. The poll finds 32% of voters would vote for a candidate who describes themselves as a Democratic Socialist. 50% would be less likely to do so. At the same time, fewer voters would pull the lever for someone with President Trump's endorsement. A self-described MAGA candidate does even worse. Only 27% of people say they'd vote for them.
Results are in for Thursday's question of the day. We asked, are you concerned about the security of U.S. elections? 72% of you said yes, 28% said no. Today's question of the day, do you think that China attempts to interfere with U.S. elections? You can submit your vote on okcfox.com/question. Chili's wants to help you remember all the date nights, friends, dinners, and other nostalgia from the restaurant. The chain launching a renovation that's a retro step back into time. There you go, like the time my mic was on. It's bringing back things like red leather booths and the colorful tile tables. The restaurant's president says the goal of the new look is to make Chili's more Chili's. Make Chili's chili again. They plan to renovate 10% of its about 1,200 locations each year until they're all done.
Foreclosures across the U.S. jumped more than 20% over the past year. New data from real estate analytics firm Adam shows the sharp increase in foreclosure filings, including default notices, scheduled auctions, and bank repossessions. Florida, South Carolina, and Indiana had the highest foreclosure rates in the country. Meanwhile, Realtor.com reports short sales rose 16% in the first quarter of 2026 compared to a year ago. A short sale happens when a homeowner sells a property for less than the amount still owed on the mortgage, often to avoid foreclosure. America's love affair with fixer-uppers may be fading. Zillow says homes that still need work are now selling at a 14% discount compared to similar move-in ready homes. That's nearly double from last year and the biggest gap Zillow has recorded in years. Rising mortgage rates, inflation, tariffs on building materials, and labor shortages are driving renovation costs higher. Many first-time buyers say they've already stretched the cost of buying a home, and that leaves little room in the budget for expensive repairs.
Somebody called Sam Adams. The World Cup giving beer sales a boost in the U.S. According to the Beer Institute, bars, restaurants, stadiums, and other venues saw beer sales rise 14% in the first 4 weeks of the tournament compared to the same period last year. Sales also up 4% nationally. FIFA organizers say 290,000 stadium beers were poured in Philadelphia during its 6 World Cup matches.
Hip-hop legend Flava Flav celebrates female Olympians with his inaugural She Weekend in Las Vegas.
The 4-day event kicked off last night on the Las Vegas Strip with a parade and concert. Thousands of people lined up to cheer for more than 100 USA female Olympians from this year's Winter Olympics. The athletes participate in a series of public and private events, as well as some community events that honor them.
A newborn giraffe gaining attention after being named for a World Cup star. The Port Lympne Hotel and Reserve in Kent, England announced it recently welcomed a Nubian giraffe calf born on July 12th. It's the same day British footballer Jude Bellingham had a standout performance against Norway in the FIFA World Cup quarterfinals. The Reserve said Jude's name was inspired by the remarkable timing of her birth. She is the first to be born there since 2018.
The weekend's lottery jackpots raising the stakes even higher. More chances to become a millionaire tonight. Mega Millions worth an estimated $672 million. That's a cash take-home value of $293.3 million. Tomorrow, the Powerball jackpot worth an estimated $526 million. That gets you home with $233.5 million.
Combined, it's almost $1 billion. I think I might buy both of them then because it met that $1 billion
Yeah,
threshold.
there you go. You put them together. Now you're just moving funds
How
around.
many scratch-off tickets do I need to buy to get to that level, you know?
I don't know. I'll then probably own a lot of Chili's and then accelerate them putting the tile back
renovations.
on the tables.
That's what happened. Everybody
Yeah.
went like millennial grayish, and then now all the whites, and now everyone's like, bring back the color, bring back the texture.
Has anyone done the math? Like, if you buy the whole roll, will you win more?
You're back-
than
you're
you
back
pay?
to
Like,
that.
is it just a better investment to like give me the whole roll? Because then I'll get like the jackpots
We
that are
need
in
a
there too.
statistician up in
Yeah.
here.
We
It
gotta
takes
do
money
something.
to make money, is what that sounds
Okay,
like.
okay.
Yeah. Temperatures will be in the upper 90s by Sunday, and they'll stay in the upper 90s and low 100s for a lot of next week.